It has been one of the most talked about and controversial issues in the presidential election, illegal immigration.
Madison Magazine takes on this complicated topic in this month's cover story. It is called Out of the Shadows. Laura Minero is the woman on the cover. She is the daughter of two undocumented Mexican immigrants, and she is a doctoral student at UW-Madison. And Karen Michelle is the editor of Madison Magazine. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you so
Karen,
much.
why did you want to take on this vast and complicated topic?
Right. Well, this year is an election year, so we wanted to make sure that we covered some issues that were going to be talked about in the presidential race. And of course, immigration is one of those. It was daunting for us because it's such a vast and complex issue, so we knew that we had to narrow it. So we decided to go with undocumented immigrants from Mexico in Madison. And so we reached out to some organizations and people in the community to get, help us frame it. And we talked to people at organizations like Centro Hispano and Latino Chamber of Commerce, and they really helped us and put us in touch with some sources. And Maggie Ginsberg, who wrote the story and did a great job, connected with Laura, and Laura just graciously and bravely told her story to us.
It is pretty brave to come out of the shadows, right? Mm-hmm. People might be wondering, how can you go to college if you're an undocumented person from Mexico?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there is a misconception, right, that undocumented immigrants don't have access to college. It might be a little bit harder to access college, but there is no state law, at least here in Wisconsin, that prevents you from going to college. There are some states actually that banned undocumented students from going to college. I think, for example, one is Georgia. But that does not exist here in Wisconsin, at least.
Oh, now, why did you decide to share your story?
Yeah, I feel like I've been doing this work for about 5 years, and I'm originally from California. So coming here with a little bit more privilege as a graduate student, but I've really been learning about the students here and the undocumented students here. And it's been really hard for them to be able to open up. I don't feel like they think this place is welcoming at times, and so there's a lot of fear around being able to share their story. And so primarily I want to bring awareness that it's okay to talk about these things, that it's not taboo, and also to bring some awareness, as Karen mentioned, right, the election is coming up, and really wanting to break down some of the stereotypes that are out there about us, because they're just simply not true.
What do you think of the Republican presidential candidates' plans about immigrants?
Yeah, well, at an emotional level, they're quite hurtful. I can honestly say that I've experienced some anxiety around this, right? And I'm sure in that regard, I can speak for the millions of us that are in the United States. So definitely a plan to deport undocumented immigrants, which the Republican candidates have really spoken to and have said that that would be the plan. Of course, right? This has been where I grew up. I've been in the United States for 20 years of my life. This is home, and I do feel American.
Do you want to become a citizen?
I would, yeah. That's like the ultimate goal, right? I wouldn't be working so hard, getting an education and trying to give back to my community if I didn't want to stay here and be here and continue with my life here.
You know, how do you respond, though, to the message about illegal immigration is resonating with some voters who feel like in communities there is a finite amount of resources, and that it is unfair for people who are here illegally to tap into those resources? To those people, you say what?
Yeah, I feel like this is what I would say. We're actually paying for a lot of resources that U.S. citizens get to benefit from. For example, we do pay our taxes, and in addition to that, we don't get any health benefits. Our Social Security that gets taken out every month gets put into this cloud that other U.S. citizens get to benefit from. But we never have anything set up for retirement, anything set up in terms of health benefits. So that's one of the biggest misconceptions, that we're just here to take away from this country, that there isn't any resources, when we as a community are actually providing an infinite amount of resources for other individuals without actually getting anything back ourselves.
We're just scratching the surface here. Wish we had more time, but you can read all about it in the current issue of Madison Magazine.
Thank you for your bravery, Laura, for sharing your story. It really, I think it will help a lot of people understand this complicated issue.
Thank
I
you
hope
both.
so too. Thank you.
Good to see you both. Thanks, Karen.
And as we mentioned, to read more of Laura's story, pick up a copy of this month's Madison Magazine.